Well, he has been the soul of Toronto's gay community for decades, but tonight the always outspoken yet always eloquent Reverend Dr. Brent Hawkes was honored as he ended 4 decades as the senior pastor for the Metropolitan Church.
Thank you. I really want to be able this evening to, as eloquently as I can, to express my deep, deep gratitude.
An emotional Reverend Hawkes welcoming a who's who of not just Toronto but Canadian politics tonight. Many have known him for decades, including former police chief Bill Blair, who was a beat cop during the infamous bathhouse raids in the early 80s. Tonight, he was there as Hawkes' friend.
I think it's important for me to tonight acknowledge the enormous contribution that the Reverend Brent Hawkes made to fixing that relationship, for bringing us together. And throughout my tenure as the chief of police, Brent was a very regular visitor to my office to remind us that we had to do better.
Hawkes says those raids, along with the AIDS epidemic that devastated the gay community, while horrific, were also turning points for him and many other gay men.
It really mobilized the gay community and got us very angry and again, made a lot of people activists who weren't.
All of us are stronger because you've worked to make our communities more open, more inclusive, and more loving.
Reverend Brent Hawkes is part of the conscience of this community. He's a fighter for rights, human rights of all kinds, including LGBTQ.
Well done, choir.
The Reverend Hawkes was never afraid to use his pulpit to bring about change.
Know of any lawful impediment why you should not be married, you are now to declare it.
He officiated the first ever legal gay marriage in the world in 2001.
Love is better than anger.
He led the funeral service for NDP leader Jack Layton and was named to the Order of Canada. But near the end of his tenure, he found himself accused of a sexual assault that allegedly occurred 40 years ago down east. But he was found not guilty this year. And while that is a potential blemish, the Reverend says he does have one real regret: the drifting apart of black and gay community activists.
We worked hard with the black community to make sure that they were included with us as well. And then we kind of drifted apart, I think. I think the AIDS crisis diverted us, in a sense, from that joint activism and working together.
We're blessed to have you in our midst. We're blessed to be able to continue to work with you. We wish you all the very, very best.
It was appropriate tonight that Premier Kathleen Wynne and her spouse, Jane Rounthwaite, introduced the Reverend as he again broke down when he ended the evening.
Together, we have been able to change the world. Thank you for being on this journey with me. I am so grateful to all of you. Thank you.
While Hawkes may be stepping down from the pulpit, his activism will continue. He says he will be working on LGBTQ rights at an international level. He says he wants to work on religious-based responses to religious-based homophobia.